Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend and start to the week. So, in the background there, when that video was playing, thank you for requesting that over on Patreon, by the way, guys. I'm just going to have a quick jump over there, see who did request that one. And I'm pretty sure there was a request for that. I saw quite a lot of That's Metal. I can see Bev's in there, but thank you all you guys for requesting that start to the show. I think the first time that we started with That's Metal to my ears on the live streams. But anyway, it did go a bit jumpy in places because I was still setting up the live stream, and I did put it in the chat room about 15 minutes ago that I was massively behind with setting this all up. But hopefully it is going to work tonight because, as mentioned on Patreon last night, I've been reorganizing the live streams so that all the buttons are more organized rather than the 2 or 3 years worth of buttons and things that I've moved around, and they all seem to be in random positions. So I've organized them a little bit more tonight, and hopefully it's going to work. We will see. I'm on screen, so that's a good start. And I can see you guys in the live chat room, so thank you guys for joining me. And let's see if you appear on screen. That is working, so that is good. So, hello guys in the live chat room tonight. We've got Paul, Chris, Jennifer, Billy, Thomas, Des, and Valerie, and Paul going through as well, and Barbara, and Renee. And it looks like at the moment I've got a little bit of a loading screen going on, and I don't know really why that is, because it still says that my connection is good, and the viewers, for some reason, it seems like the numbers are going down. I don't know whether YouTube has lost the connection, but everything seems fine. And I'm just going to type in here. On my screen it says that it's loading. I don't know if it says it's loading on your screen, but the connection says that it's all fine and green, and it says excellent connection. So let's give everything a little bit of a refresh and see what happens, to see if everything comes back online or not, and if I actually start moving on the screen or not as well. So let's just wait for this to load through, and we'll wait and see. I'm keeping an eye on the live chat room so I can see for any comments there saying that we are frozen. But it looks like it was just my screen that was frozen and everything else is okay. Fingers crossed. So, back into getting you guys up on screen again. Let's try this. Take 2. And you've appeared on screen again, and it hasn't frozen. So I think this is going to be a bit of an experimental live stream tonight with having set everything up, and hopefully it's going to be better for the future. But this is the first one tonight where I've reorganized everything, and maybe it just went through a bit of a funny phase of stopping on my screen, but we were still live. Anyway, thank you guys for sticking with me, and I'm going to go back into the live chat room because we have Neil in there, and Chris, Orlando, Jason, Billy, Jennifer, Paul, Beverly, Mary, and Donna, and Paula in there as well. Thank you guys for sticking with me through that tiny little bit of technical issue, and we might have some technical issues tonight. You never know when the gremlins are going to turn up. But let me get the names of my patrons up on screen as well, if this is going to work, and it seems like it might do, because they make every video that I do on this channel possible with the live streams as well. So thank you guys so much for all of your support over at patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, and I should have the link easily accessible now, so I can click on it and get it up on screen at a whim whenever I want to get it. This is the point, that I wanted to get everything organized so that I could click on things and get them on screen and have more space to organize things. For example, the website wingsofpegasus.com, so I can click on that and it can appear. Before, I was having to substitute all the buttons that I use for other buttons, and it changed from like a Tuesday to a Saturday, and I think I only had 16 spaces for buttons. So it meant that everything that you can see on screen, for example, the likes goal, these are just buttons that I click on, that I automate, or I don't actually automate them. That would be great if I could and they just appeared magically, but I'm clicking on these buttons. As you can see, it comes on, it goes off, because I'm clicking on them to make them live and then make them not live. But anyway, it means that I only had 16 buttons, so it meant that I had to keep substituting one button for another button because you only had 16 at any one time, whereas now I've made the grid 10 by 10, so now I've got 100 buttons, which means I've got a lot more space and I can keep things more organized and look at everything on the screen without getting quite as confused. So let's get the live like-cometer up on screen as well. That seems to be working, and we are at 115 likes so far. Thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up before the live stream, and also during the live stream. If you can hit that thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated, because we are going for 265 for the Pick Roulette likes goal tonight. Not quite into the 300s again yet, but we have been hitting these goals recently on a Tuesday and a Saturday. So we're going to be having another Pick Roulette tonight as well, so make sure you stay tuned to that. There's going to be another lucky winner, but we'll see if we can keep on spiking those likes in order to get that total a little bit higher, maybe up to 265, fingers crossed. So let me jump into the super chat donations, because there have been a couple in there, and they won't be on the screen because they disappear, unfortunately, when YouTube starts up if they've been made before the live stream starts. But we had a donation from Ginny, who has donated $10. Thank you for that. And the message is, "Hi Phil, thanks again for featuring Marty Stewart's band. Love his Clarence White telly. Maybe someday you will feature drummers again. Take care." So thank you for that, Ginny. And yeah, in terms of drummers, I don't really tend to look at other instruments other than the ones that I feel a little bit more qualified to talk about. I mean, I do play the drums, but I wouldn't really class myself as a drummer. I wouldn't really class myself as a drummer or a keys player, or probably a singer. That's something that I started out playing guitar, and then the other things I learned along the way. So yeah, very much the other instruments are much more recent, whereas because I started playing the guitar when I was about 11 years of age, and I've been teaching professionally for over 15 years, I feel like, as it's been a profession of mine, that I've got some kind of area of expertise when talking about guitar playing, as I have taught it for quite a long time. And yeah, obviously playing and having endorsement from Fender and all that kind of stuff, I feel a little bit more qualified on the guitar side of things. But yeah, getting into drums, I wouldn't be, I mean, especially with top drummers, I just wouldn't be able to demonstrate, and trying to explain what is going on, I probably wouldn't be able to explain it very clearly either, because I haven't taught drums myself, and it's just something that, yeah, I'm very basic at. I just play enough to get away with it. So I'm not sure that I'll be getting heavily into drummers, but certainly guitarists and vocals. You guys know in the previous analysis videos, those are what I feel more comfortable with, because I've been singing for probably quite a long time now. It might be as much as 8 or 9 years, maybe 10 years. The time seems to fly by, but I still feel like that's pretty recent, because I couldn't sing and then I learned to sing, and it's a very long process, but it still feels like I'm still learning along the way. But thank you for that, Ginny. And Orlando has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, spike the likes with a thumbs up. Rock on, rock hard, with some rock horns as well. So thank you for that, Orlando. Let's have a plug of the mug. While we always look at Orlando's donations, we always get the mug out as well. So spike the likes. If you want to hit that thumbs up, be much appreciated. We'll have a spike of the likes at almost midnight here in the UK. So if you want to get your hands on a mug, unfortunately I haven't got the new pint glass yet. It's still yet to be delivered, but they are available in the tray underneath this video. Also, click on the link in the description below if you want to go straight to the store to pick up a mug, but also to pick up a pint glass, because those are now available. And I think the tumblers are now available as well, because I've seen somewhere, I know it's a message somewhere that I've checked or just had a quick look through before I started the live stream, that somebody said they have ordered a tumbler. So the Wings of Pegasus tumblers are available. So go to that store in the description below and get your hands on one of those, because I will be ordering one of those after this live stream if they've just become available. So hopefully the pint glass will arrive soon, but we will be having a little look later on at a pint glass, maybe a couple of pint glasses, because they have been uploaded by Jennifer, and we'll have a look at that picture later on. But just one picture tonight, and if actually technically it's two, because we have a different kind of angle going on. Anyway, if you want to upload a picture to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, then that's where I grab them from, and that's where Vince and Carla link them to me on Facebook. So you can upload them there. That's the place to also join in with these guys and gals in the live chat room, because that's where they hang out in between the live streams. So hello to the moderators as well. Thank you guys for doing such a fantastic job. And we have Neil and Laurie and Carla in there. You'll be able to see their names go through the live chat room, and they have a wrench next to their names, and they go through with a blue name. You might be able to see Neil just about to go through, and there he is. And Neil is a moderator. So thank you guys for moderating so amazingly well, and keeping that live chat room such a great place to be, and keeping the community feel to all of the proceedings on these live streams. Anyway, I'm going to keep on clicking on these buttons to see if I've set them up correctly, because that should be the percentages for donations, so everybody knows the lay of the land with their donations. And if I click on that one, we should be able to get the PayPal donations window up on screen. So I know there have been a few PayPal donations, so thank you guys for those. And let me mention straight off the bat that Lynn did donate earlier, and thank you for that, Lynn. I will probably do an email, as I normally do, on that one, just to mention about the fact we've just gone past 176,000 subscribers on the channel. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and hitting that thumbs up, because it just helps the channel to get out there. Even on these live streams, by hitting that thumbs up button, it helps these live streams to get out there, but also for the channel to grow, because YouTube just throws the videos out there a little bit more than normal, depending on the likes and the interaction and all that kind of stuff. So a big thank you to you guys. If you have just subscribed as well, welcome. And if it might be your first stream, welcome to the first, or your first live stream. Certainly not the first live stream. These have been going on for probably about 3 years, and I can't remember when we last missed one on a Tuesday or a Saturday. The Saturday ones are more recent, but even when I say that they're more recent, that probably means we've been doing them for about a year, because just a year seems to go really quickly. So anyway, if this is your first live stream, just say hi to everybody in the live chat room. That's how everybody starts off in these live streams, and everybody then gets to know each other, and there's that really cool community feel to everything going on. But we have a few things to be getting through tonight. I'm gonna try and make sure that everything works. Fingers crossed it might not, especially when we get to the pick roulette. That's all going to be a little bit experimental. But let me actually get back into the PayPal donations window, because we have had a donation that's come in from Lucy. So let me get that up on screen as well. And Lucy has donated £6.15. So thank you for that, Lucy. And the message is: howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers. Happy 63rd birthday to Bradley Frank Gillis, born 15 June, guitarist for Night Ranger, with some cake, some rock horns, a heart and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy, for the message, and also those birthday wishes to Bradley. And thank you for the donation and joining us tonight on this live stream. I am just going to scroll up a little bit to see that Sue has donated £20 as well. So thank you for that, Sue. And the message is: can't stay, just stopping in to say hello to everybody. I'll catch up later on the catch-up crew. So thank you for that, Sue, and Sue's going to be part of that catch-up crew later on. If you're watching this in the future, you can hit that thumbs up. It still all counts and helps the live streams to get out there. And also, if you're just looking for reference point, I think a few people do watch these in the future and think that they're live. when they're not live, when they are watching. It's now 20 past midnight here in the UK, so that's 12:20 a.m. So check your time zones, and if it's not 12:20 in London, or if it's just not 20 past the hour wherever you are, then you're probably not watching it live. And yeah, just type it into Google, your time zone, and you'll be able to see whether the time zones match up or not. And I think you will know if you are live, because when you type something, it'll pop up in the live chat room, and as you can see, all these comments that are going through are live now. And if you do type one as a normal comment, it will just appear underneath the video in the future. So just to let you guys know, in order to see your live chat room comment, you have to be watching it live. But Sue, thank you for the donation. Considering that you'll be in the catch-up crew as well, you'll maybe see this message later on, but thank you for that, Sue. And Renee has donated £6.80 as well. Thank you for this, Renee, and the message is: hi Phil, got my pint glass and I love it. Iced tea tastes much better in a Wings of Pegasus glass. So thank you for that, Renee, and for ordering the glass as well. And it's great to know that there are a few pint glasses making their way out into the world. And I'm not sure, I might have seen another picture, and I don't know whether it was Renee or not, I can't remember, but there might be some more pint glass pictures that I haven't picked up yet. I'm not sure, but rest assured that if there are any, they will make them onto the live streams in the future, and anyone that I haven't seen yet or been linked to, I will show on Saturday. So make sure that you stay tuned. If you have uploaded a picture, it will be shown on the live streams. Just make sure to tune in to the live streams and you will see them. But thank you, Renee, for that. And Tortoro Porco has donated £3. Thank you for that. And the message is: I just ordered a tumbler as a gift. What brand of orange squash should I buy to fill it with? So thank you for that. And for the order as well of the tumbler, the brand that I have, I don't know if you can get it where you are, but it's called Robinson's. Robinson's Orange Squash is the orange squash that I have, and Robinson's is the brand. I don't know whether they're worldwide or not. They seem like quite a big company, so maybe they are worldwide, but that is what I have. And I'm not sure if over in the USA they call it the same squash. I don't know what they call it in other countries, but we call it orange squash. It's like concentrated orange juice, and then kind of, well, maybe 1 part the concentrated orange juice and then 3 parts water, something like that, or maybe 1 part and then 2 parts water. It depends how strong you want the orange taste, but I tend to have probably less than a lot of other people, just because I try and watch having too much sugar, because yeah, it's not a good idea for me just having too much sugar, especially in liquid form. For some reason my body doesn't like that at all, but with chocolate and with cake and stuff like that, it's fine, which is great. Double thumbs up. So yeah, orange squash, I tend to have it quite weak, as they would call it, I guess like a cup of tea, but I have a cup of tea strong, but that doesn't have any sugar in. I don't have any sugar in my tea. So anyway, Robinson's is the answer. But thank you, Richard, for that donation. And scrolling up, Joan has been very kindly donating £50 in that PayPal window. Thank you for that, Joan. And the message is: Blue Oyster Cult will be performing in my town in July. Looking forward to seeing Buck and crew. Also, congrats on 176,000 subscribers. So thank you for that, Joan. And that's great news that you're going to be checking out Buck and Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know how intimate the gig will be, but maybe you can shout out to Buck. So just mention my name and he'll maybe say hello. I mean, Buck's a really nice guy anyway. I'm sure that if he's available to chat, then he will do. And yeah, if you just give the Wings of Pegasus channel a little plug and yeah, mention, I mean, Buck's such a nice guy. You guys will maybe know on the channel, if you've been watching for a while, that he's been on not only for the interview, but we had him on as the first Under the Spotlight performance and featured artist. So yeah, really great solo that Buck played, but he's such a nice guy, and yeah, he's one of those guys that I do keep in touch with, and really hoping that everything continues to go as it is going at the moment here in the UK, so that Buck can come over again for their UK tour and their European tour. I think they're doing dates in Europe as well, but last time he was over here, we hooked up, and this time he's going to be playing at the O2, and that's going to be such a cool gig with Deep Purple as well. So that's one of those gigs that if I can do, I'll definitely hook up with Buck again. And it's always great when Buck's over in the UK because we get to catch up. But he is on the channel here as well. So Joan, yes, shout out to Buck. See if you can get his attention. But yeah, he's such a nice guy. I'm sure that he'll give you a lot of time if you can get a chance to speak with him. But thank you for that donation. And we've just had an order on this website, if I can even talk, because I'm so excited about CD orders on the website. And this was a CD order, and it's come through from Paul. So thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, I only buy CDs from artists who have at least 176,000 subscribers, with a smiley face. Well done. So thank you for that, Paul, and for purchasing the CD. I will get on that and yeah, package that up, sign it and send it off. I send off all the CDs from here, so this is where I kind of write on them and quite often make a bit of a mess with my handwriting, but yeah, thank you so much for that, Paul. And then sometimes when the pen doesn't work, and yeah, it can be a nightmare, I sometimes write on the CDs just saying apologies, but the pen wasn't working very well. But it makes every single CD unique, and they all are. They've got the same pen used. I've got the same two pens that I've been using for ages. The ink is still working on them. I use a biro and another permanent marker for like signing it, and those two pens are still lasting, so each one is absolutely unique when you get a CD. And because of my organization now, it means that I can put the link up on screen. If you want to head over to wingsofpegasus.com, then you'll click on the music section of that, the music tab, and it'll take you through to the music, the album. If you want to download it, you can get songs individually as well. And if you just do a forward, I haven't got it on the screen, but the wingsofpegasus.com/music. That's what you can type in to go straight to the music page. But anyway, that was the site. Thank you, Paul, for ordering that. It is much appreciated. And let's just scroll up because that's confirmation, just saying that I've received an order from Paul. So thank you for that, Paul. And Linda has donated £20.39. Thank you for that, Linda. And it's just a straight up donation without a message. So thank you for that, Linda. So moving forward into this very experimental live stream to see if it all works, we are going to be jumping into, I think we'll go straight into the requested cover that was put in over on Patreon and requested over there. Again, thank you guys for answering my request for requests on Patreon. Let's have a little look. I think Marilyn was the first to request Miles Away, and I think that's what we're going to have a little look at tonight for the cover video. Orlando requested Miles Away as well. I'm going to have a little scroll down because Michelle has requested Miles Away, and if you don't know Miles Away, and Bev has, it's a Winger tune, and Winger, one of those bands who broke onto the scene in the very late 80s, early 90s, so unfortunately they did miss the whole kind of 80s hard rock thing, but had they started earlier, I think they would have been a very popular band, and I think everyone would know their name because, I mean, Kip Winger just massively talented just by himself, let alone the rest of the band, and Red Beach as well, one of those guitarists who's playing I am a big fan of. But Michelle has requested Miles Away as well, thank you for that. Bev, who I mentioned, Selena. So there were quite a few in there, and I'm just going to go down because Joan has requested it as well, and I think that is all of them. I haven't refreshed the page before or when we went live with the live stream, but those are the ones that I can see. So thank you for all of those requests, and now we see if I've set it up to click on the right button. Hopefully this is going to work, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock! Okay, so quick introduction to this next video. This is more of a tribute video to Kip Winger, as I've been to see Kip in London and with his band, Winger, numerous times, and once I even went to France just to watch Winger. So this is my tribute, and it's me playing and singing Miles Away, and I hope you like it. See you later. Rock!
So this is love, also you tell me, as you're walking out the door. Months go by and I know for certain it's not the love I'm looking for. Sometimes, just for a moment, I reach out and hope you're still there. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles away. It's hard to tell what you're going through. You kept your feelings locked inside of you. Open your heart and chances are what you're feeling, I'm feeling too. If only just for a moment, hold on to the dreams that we had. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles away. When times were tough, you were down and out. Who was there by your side? Now you're gone, I'm so tired of being alone, with only your promises. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles and miles away. No, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles away.
And there we have it. That was my cover of Miles Away by Winger, and what a tune that is. That's probably one of my favourite ballads. Just a huge fan of Winger, and Kip Winger is well, I say some of the guys that I mentioned on the channel about being really kind of multi-talented, multi-instrumentalists, songwriters, great singers. Kip is definitely one of those guys that fits into that category, and I think a lot of people that might know him from the late 80s, 90s, or in Winger might not know about his one-man show that he does that I've been to see, where he's just playing a 12-string acoustic guitar, and he's just got top-level ability at playing the guitar as well as singing, just being an amazing vocalist, having total control of his voice. And yeah, just one of those guys. He's also into composing and writing classical music, and yeah, he's just great at everything that he does. And I think a lot of people maybe that saw him in tight leather trousers, topless in the late 80s, early 90s, wouldn't necessarily know that actually, he's a well-respected composer and into, just classical arrangements. And he's got that whole thing going on of just being so switched on musically. He's one of these guys that he's a musician's musician. He's just all over it in terms of having the ability with every single element that you want, with vocals, arrangement, songwriting, playing the guitar. And I think a lot of people might just see him playing bass, and sometimes live, just around the front of the stage, playing bass lines where maybe sometimes they're not the most complicated bass lines as well. And one of those songs that I'm thinking of is Easy Come, Easy Go. I believe that is just the same open string for pretty much the whole song. So people might see that, and yeah, that would certainly not be a good indication of Kip's level and ability. But if you do know about Kip Winger, then you know exactly how talented he is. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Tuesday night live stream is a little bit experimental because of all the buttons that I had to move around and organise, but we seem to be doing okay, fingers crossed, and we are at 181 likes at the moment. So if you can hit that thumbs up as you come into the live stream, that would be much appreciated. We're aiming for 265 tonight in order to have another pick roulette next week. We are going to be having one tonight, so we are at 25 to 1 here in the morning. So we have a little bit of time left still on the live stream. We've still got some time to hit those thumbs up. And I think I've just dug myself into a hole here, because I'm going to say, let me test my maths. And it's 80. I think it was just 80. I'm going to stick with 80 more likes is what we need. And that means now it's 78 likes that we're looking for. So 78 more people to hit that thumbs up to come into that live chat room. We'll see what happens before the end of the live stream. We have had another donation, I believe, in the PayPal window, and I can see that one's come in from Orlando and Mike, so we'll get into that in a second in the super chat window. Karen has donated £3.40, so thank you for that, Karen. And on the screen it says that it is pending, so that is something that I think PayPal are just waiting for it to go through. I do not know, but thank you for that, Karen. I can't see a message with that donation, but I will scroll up because Steve has donated as well. So thank you for that, Steve. And let me get this up on screen so you guys can see what's going on. And Steve has donated £5, and the message is remembering seeing the Rolling Stones in Cleveland, June 14th, 1975. Billy Preston, Buddy Miles, Tower of Power opening and backing up the Stone J. Giles band. Played 2. Price on my tickets for all of this was $10. Yikes. So thank you for that, Steve. And what did I see the other day? There's a post, I think, on Instagram where there were probably 8 bands. I think it was probably something like a day of a festival, and the lineup was absolutely insane in terms of the bands that were playing. And it was just like one band after the next band after the next band after the next band that were just like insane in terms of the people turning up. You'd have like Boston and Deep Purple and who else was on there? I'm trying to think. Well, my mind's gone blank, but it was an amazing lineup. I'm trying to think of all the bands that were on a poster. This is, unfortunately, I haven't got a photographic memory, but it's a similar kind of thing when you're talking about, Tower of Power. and the other bands that Billy Preston that you've mentioned, but Rolling Stones as well. I'm not sure whether the Stones and the Beatles played a lot together, but I've certainly seen something where they were together. I think a lot of the British invasion bands, there was a spell in the 60s where they would just put so many of those bands, rock and roll bands, all on the same bill. But this is why when I'm looking at videos, for example, when looking at Woodstock, for example, I mean, that's the classic example. Looking at, I mean, how many video analysis videos have I done on Woodstock in order to look at like top performances and top bands and just bands that were all playing over the course of just a few days and sometimes all on one day. And yeah, just looking back, yeah, it really does show the amount of talent that was around at the time, but the fact that they all got put on the same bill, and that, like you say, with just a $10 ticket, like you could just see an amazing amount of bands. Maybe I think Blue Oyster Cult, Journey. I'm trying to remember this, and this is all on the same bill. So that's like 4 epic bands that you go and see, like Black Sabbath. When I'm mentioning Ozzy Osbourne, what I really mean is Black Sabbath, and I'm talking kind of early time. So yeah, that was the Black Sabbath would have been on the bill as well. And yeah, so that's, how many bands have I just said? 4 or 5? But anyway, there were just lots of great bands on this particular bill, and you know, that was probably one of the best times to be alive for music, because there was so much going on that was new and pushing a sound in a direction. I think with the 50s into the 60s, obviously you had that rock and roll, then turning into I guess people would class it more as then just rock. And then you did have the British invasion with so many bands that were just top quality bands, not only musically in terms of instrumentally, but singing, harmonies and songs. There were so many amazing songs, and I think that's the thing that maybe gets lost throughout the years, is the ability to write just great songs. Because even now, you'd think that on TV and on radio they would be playing the songs of nowadays, because there are just as good as songs nowadays as there were back then. But you always hear that there always tends to be a tendency for TV stations to go back to the old classic hits, to have that playing over the top of whatever footage they're playing. So yeah, there are so many great hits from 60s, 70s and 80s that always just get replayed. And especially myself being a hard rock fan, so many classic tunes from the 80s, and even just pop rock songs, Cutting Crew, for example. And when I mentioned Journey, I mean in the 80s as well, just so many songs that now get included on, adverts especially, actually. Here in the UK, there was Jefferson Airplane as well that featured on an advert. So, and really recently. So, yeah, it was Jefferson Starship, I think, actually, if I'm being more technically correct. The slightly later version, which I think is a bit of a divide amongst fans, but it was a slightly, later version of the band, Starship, that was featured in an advert. But anyway, getting back into the donations, but thank you for that, Steve. Getting back into the donations, Geary has donated £25 and 14 pence. Thank you so much for that. And the message is rock. And I hope that I have pronounced your name correctly, and apologies if I haven't, but maybe it's something that can be put in that live chat room in order to get pronunciations a little bit more accurately. This is something that when I first started, I didn't know how to say the Grand Ole Opry. I said Opry at the end because that's how we would say it here in the UK. But of course, a lot of people over in the USA, because it being over in the USA, I got a lot of messages saying you pronounce it this way. So I'm very much saying it the way that I've been told to say it. So if you guys have any pronunciation issues or problems with myself, just let me know, and I'll make a mental note to just try and pronounce things correctly as they should be. I guess natively, if you're talking about where that particular band, artist, show, institution, whatever you want to refer to it as, how it should be pronounced. But I will do my best. But thank you for that donation, a very kind donation of £25.14. And into the super chat window, because we've had a donation as well from Orlando. Again, thank you for that, and it's for $2, and the message is, Kip Winger is very musically versatile. Indeed, thank you for that, Orlando. I couldn't agree more. And Mike has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, some open tunings use a drone note. So thank you for that, Mike. And that is indeed correct. So, and open string tunings, especially on 12 string. Oh, look, Lou's gone through, said, geez, Phil, please say Bobby for me. So there we go. I've just said that. So I just noticed the capital letters as it went through the live chat room. So that is that said. Thank you, Mike, for that donation. And open string tunings, when on a 12 string, for example, that's where you'll get the top 2 strings and the lower 4 strings. And I'm talking about having the 6 strings that are tuned, and then you have another 6 strings that are thinner tuned next to it, so you get 12 strings in all. And on the first 4 strings, it means that you'll get the octave above the note that you're playing, but also you'll get the top 2 strings which are tuned to the same note. So it means that you get a note that is effectively droning out. You're tuning one note to the same note, so that it just fills out the sound even more. And obviously on a 12 string with those lower 4 strings, it means that you get the octave effect of the lower 4 strings, which really does fill out the sound. And that's something that we spoke about before, where talking about the 12 string guitar not being as boomy on the bottom end as a 6 string, and a lot of that can be can be explained as having a note that is an octave above the low E string right next to the E string, so it means that you get a kind of mix of those 2 notes rather than the solid low E. But anyway, we won't get into all that again, but thank you for that, Mike. And Alamo has donated $1.99 as well. Thank you for that donation, Alamo, and that's a straight up donation without a message. So thank you guys for all of the very kind donations tonight, and it is approaching 10 to 1 here in the UK. So what we will do is we'll jump into just looking at this picture, the second technically pint glass picture that has been uploaded, and I'm gonna have to make sure that this is something that happens quite a lot on the live streams. Is the software that I'm using to actually live stream cancels everything and then pops up on screen, there's an update available for the software. Do you want to update it now? And it says yes or no, and it should be programmed in that if it knows you're live streaming, that's not a good time to put up in the middle of the screen to cancel everything and say, do you want to update? Because if you have to update, you'll have to restart. I think the software should be programmed so that it knows that you're live streaming, and you shouldn't really be interrupting the person live streaming with a software update. But anyway, I have said no because you can still see me, and we are going to hopefully be able to jump into the pictures if I've made it correct. Well, if I've actually made it possible by putting everything correctly in its place. And when I say that this is technically the second pint glass, because Joan, I believe, was on the last live stream and she had the first Wings of Pegasus pint glass, and she's wearing a Wings of Pegasus t-shirt as well at the same time. So let me get everything up on screen if I can, get the background here. This might be something that I know that it just popped up, but I'm just double checking because I think this is something that I haven't set up yet with the background. But anyway, let me get the background back, and I will have to sort out in the future. Oh, I did set it up. I can now see where I put the button. But anyway, let's have a look at Joan's picture because it's still on there. So here's Joan with her pint glass and t-shirt. So thank you for uploading that, Joan. I did show this one on the last live stream, but as it was right underneath my clicker button, I thought I would show it again. And we then have Jennifer, who here is up on screen, and she has the Wings of Pegasus glass or pint glass in her left hand, or on the right hand side of the screen as we look at it, but in her left hand. But we also get another picture, and this is Jennifer again, who has now both versions of the pint glass. And I haven't got mine yet, so I'm a little bit jealous because they actually do look really cool and ready for some orange squash or even just some water. But anyway, thank you so much for uploading that, Jennifer, and I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on my own. It is in transit. I'm sure it'll be with me at some point, but as soon as it is, I will have it on the live stream to show to you guys live on the air on the Wings of Pegasus channel. But thank you guys for uploading your pictures. As I said, if you want to head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, join in with that group, upload your pictures, and I will show them on the live stream. And if you have uploaded one, I think that maybe I saw that Renee had uploaded a picture as well. I will show that one on Saturday. I'll grab any ones that I have missed before going live tonight. So thank you guys for uploading those, and I'm just going to scroll up in the PayPal donations window because we've had another donation and it's come in from Amy for £10. So thank you so much for that, Amy. And I'm just going to scroll down because the message says, "Hey Phil and live stream, checking in to say, hey, most of my favourite songs come from 1969, but I have found a lot of good new music from TV and movies lately. Shazam app is my new radio. Cheers." So thank you for that, Amy. And just referring to, I was mentioning Woodstock, of course, 1969 earlier on. And yeah, so many great artists and songs just from that festival. But anyway, the Shazam app, I think I have used this maybe once or twice in the past. I can't remember, it's quite old, but I think it was for you get it to listen to whatever you're listening to. If you don't know what the song is, you don't know who the artist is, and then it tells you the song and the name of the artist, so then you can find out what the song is, and if there's something that you hear that you do like, then you can get the name of the artist and then maybe download it if you do like it. So yeah, I think that's what the Shazam app is, but maybe they've added more to it and you can do more things, maybe go directly to a download or directly to iTunes or just an Amazon, whatever music streaming service you prefer. But anyway, thank you for that, Amy. And I can see that Fred has donated $5 as well, so thank you for that, Fred. And the message is, Phil, have you ever tried harp guitar or a choral sitar / guitar? So thank you for that, Fred. And no, I haven't yet tried harp guitar or a choral sitar / guitar. So that's not something that I've got round to doing yet. I think it's a case of just getting your hands on one, unless you're specifically buying one in order to learn how to play it. I think in terms of my circles, my musical circles is always around guitars, and especially with teaching, and even in the guitar shop where I used to teach, it was just, I mean, we did have ukuleles, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, quite a lot of makes of acoustic guitars and electric guitars, so it meant that I got to try out lots of different ones. But yeah, that was about as far as it went in terms of the stock. If people wanted anything a little bit more exotic, they'd have to get ordered in. But yeah, I just worked my way through the guitars in the shop whenever I had a break, which was, I mean, it was good that I could do that, but the setup wasn't very good. That's why I moved away to then teach privately, because I used to teach in the shop and I was at the back of the shop, and then the owner started to use the teaching room as a storeroom as well. So it meant that it used to be great because the room was empty and you had lots of space. You could set up your amp and set up your backing track. There's a whiteboard there if you needed to write anything out for the student. So that was all great. But then one kind of drum kit would work its way in there, a box of a drum kit, just stock. And then a few guitars would get put in there, another drum kit. So then it got to a point where you had to kind of walk through all of the stock in order to get to the seats, and then there'd be stock that's now in the way of everything. So it started to look a little bit unprofessional. So yeah, that's why also I did teach, and somebody was trying out their bass guitar. This is the other thing, that in order to maximize the money for the shop, they started having two teachers at once. One would go in now the storeroom, and the other one would be upstairs, and we alternated because obviously the room at the bottom was better rather than just sitting in the middle of the shop teaching. And yeah, so one time I was teaching and somebody was trying out bass guitars at a very loud volume while I was trying to teach. I mean, literally feet away while I'm trying to teach a student. So yeah, that student, fortunately, he was young and quite relaxed about it, but I was a little bit embarrassed the fact that they'd come to have a guitar lesson and we could hardly hear what we're saying because there's a guy trying out bass guitars right next to us. And the owner was actually showing him more guitars, which made it even worse. So yeah, I then moved to teaching privately because then I knew that, right, if I'm doing it in my own space, I can get everything set up as I want to. I can get internet access. That's something that we didn't have as well, so that we can load up a song. We can learn a song in that lesson. If they say, right, I want to learn this song, we load it up and we start learning it. So yeah, it's just a lot better. But anyway, thank you, Fred. I sort of got a bit sidetracked about teaching history, my own teaching history, but also teaching at a guitar shop, the pros and cons of it. But thank you for that, Fred. And Carl has donated $5 as well. Thank you for this, Carl. And the message is, cross the pond for Phil Fest or use it as seed money to start a 12-string fund. So thank you for that, Carl. And this is something that I spoke with Laura about recently as well, getting a 12-string. And it might be something that at the moment I don't need a 12-string. It's just something that I would probably want more than need, because I don't think I've really had the need to demonstrate anything analysis-wise, and I don't think I've needed it for anything that I've been teaching, but it would be quite nice to have one just in case. It's always good to have one to play now and again if something does pop up, but that is something that maybe I could get in touch with Fender about, but I will see in the future. I just need time to get everything sorted and organized, because I am emailing for the Under the Spotlight series as well, sending those out, looking out for any returns to emails, and yeah, just keeping on top of everything, because I've kind of got different segments of like organizing the live streams again and making it a little bit easier for myself so they don't take as long to set up. But then you've got Under the Spotlight emails, keeping a track of who I've emailed, who's responded, and who I've sent the backing track to and who I haven't sent the backing track to, and then analysis videos and keeping those organized as well. And yeah, making sure that I'm keeping everything compartmentalized, if that's, I think that is a word. But anyway, thank you for that, Carl. And Mike has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Mike. The message is, Phil, you might do a Phil tune about your shop school. So thank you for that, Mike. I think there are plenty of other Phil tunes that I could do in the future, because those ones that you have seen are from a long time ago, and a lot has happened since then. And I'm talking about gigs, things that have actually happened at gigs that, again, you wouldn't believe. But anyway, thank you for that, Mike. And Richard Tortoro Porco has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, your guitar store job would be good for a cartoon. So a great minds think alike there in the super chat room. Thank you for that, Mike and Richard. And I can see that another one has come through on PayPal. So thank you for this, Stan, for £6.80. It is much appreciated. And the message is, Phil, I saw Robbie Krieger try to demonstrate the bottleneck slide technique, but maybe you could do a better job. We are loving our holiday from across the sea and am wishing you happy days. So thank you for that, Stan. And I'm not sure whether I can demonstrate anything. I don't have anything to hand that could be used as a slide. But the other thing to mention about slide, is this even on? I think this might be on a dirty tone because I was playing along with That's Metal, which was... Actually, I'm going to have to sit down like this because I know that there's a stretch that's about to happen. Like that. It's a little bit crunchy, this tone, but that's it. You have to listen out for the little choppy parts. If I'm playing it a little bit more freely, and then we're into the verse. But anyway, That's Metal, nothing to do with a slide guitar. Yeah, I haven't got anything that I can use. Maybe, I'm not sure whether this is going to be correct or even work, but no, that's not doing it. But yeah, if I had like a bottle, then I could use it as a slide. You need something that's going to be metallic. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. Obviously holding it's a bit weird. Oh! Well, you get the idea. Anyway, when I was... that I did on Unwanted Stranger. If you know that song of mine where there's kind of high-pitched, obviously I'm using the lid of my pick thing so it's really awkward to hold. Normally a slide you'd wear on your finger, or if it's literally a bottleneck you'd put your finger through the bottle, and nowadays you'd use slide on your finger and it'll be on your finger, so it's a lot easier to slide up than holding. I mean, this is a bit of a stupid demonstration that I'm doing, but you can hopefully hear the slide going on. I can't quite do the vibrato with it because it's a little bit awkward to hold and keep the contact with the strings, because it's actually got a bend in it as well. So obviously don't use this as a slide. But it's a shame that I haven't got anything that I can use to demonstrate it a little bit better. But anyway, with the bottleneck slide technique, the other thing to point out is that this is in standard tuning, my guitar. And if you're playing slide, you generally will tune your guitar to a chord. So it means that when you slide up with one finger, you're sliding up a whole chord. So again, don't kind of think that I was playing slide guitar there. I wasn't. I was just demonstrating the sound, or attempting to, with something that had wasn't supposed to be used for a slide as a slide in the first place. But you'd have you could see the way that I was using the middle strings, because that is let's not get into that, but the two middle strings of your guitar is like a G. So if you're playing slide, you would tune your whole guitar to G. So it means that your guitar, you wouldn't have to put any fingers on it, but you would get this sound. So imagine that is your bottom of the guitar sounds like that, a G chord. So then when you use your slide and you slide it up, you're now getting all of the chords as you ascend the guitar to the top, all the way up to your octave, which will be G again. So it means that you can now pick through the chords as if you're just picking a normal chord, like a G or an E, it doesn't matter, a D, depending on where you move it. But you can pick between those notes and slide between them, and then you'll now sound like you're playing a little bit more slide guitar. Because, I mean, you can play slide in standard tuning, but it is a bit restrictive because you have to be really careful with where you go. And if you play through a shape, for example, in E, as you know, well, maybe as you don't know if you don't play the guitar, but as you work your way through that major extended pentatonic shape, you can see how I'm sliding up, and when you're playing with a slide, you're covering more than one string. So that means that you'd get potentially those other strings ringing out, and you don't really want them to ring out because it's going to clash with the lead that you're playing. So this is why you tune your guitar to open strings, so that it gives you more freedom. So it doesn't matter if you're accidentally leaning and pressing on, and you don't push down with the slide, you just rest it on top of the strings. So when I was doing that before, I'm not pushing down, I'm just resting it on top of the string and hoping that it maintains contact because it's not an even edge. But that is the technique for playing slide, just not pushing down. You don't push the strings down onto the fretboard. They will sound just sliding up and down. So yeah, I don't know whether that's explaining slide technique really, or hopefully it explains what a bottleneck slide is. If you're talking about literally the bottleneck of a bottle, then it's glass. So it means that it's great for sliding across the strings because it's nice and smooth, and it maintains contact because it's circular. And this is why slides are circular, because you can keep contact with the strings a lot better than a Wings of Pegasus pick case lid. Anyway, thank you for that, Stan. That's much appreciated for that donation and for that question kind of thing. But yeah, bottleneck slide, I haven't actually got one anyway, which is really annoying. I have to have a search for it. It will be around somewhere. But thank you for that donation. And Lisa has donated £5 as well. Thank you for this, Lisa. And the message is, Phil, you've got the ladies in the chat room very curious. Is it hot in England? We've all noticed your flip-flops. So thank you for that, Lisa. And yes, it is hot in England, but it's not hot in here. So well, I say it's hot. It's now, wow, it's 1:05 in the morning already. It's not hot because it's so late, but I have worn my flip-flops out. Do you call them? Yeah, we call them flip-flops here, and it's good that you call them flip-flops as well. So yeah, I've been wearing flip-flops today because it has been hot during the day. Obviously, in the evening it cools off, which is good, and which is actually, you know, kind of why I've got my hoodie on, because it would be a little bit borderline of being a bit too cold with just a t-shirt. So yes, and yeah, the flip-flops are my footwear of choice today, and I think it's going to be hot. It has been kind of hot for, I know that people in hotter countries will go, oh, what? 23 degrees or 25 degrees Celsius, that's not hot. Like 45 is hot. But in England, this is hot. So, yeah, I suppose it shows that it's not that hot if I'm wearing a hoodie and I'm not profusely sweating. Still absolutely fine. But, yeah, I have been wearing the flip-flops, and I've been wearing the flip-flops probably for a couple of days. I had to try and find them, first of all, because in the UK, flip-flops are not something that we keep at hand all the time because you hardly ever need them. But yeah, tomorrow is supposed to be hot as well, but they've also said that thunderstorms might be happening because of the high temperatures and the fact that it hasn't been raining, and maybe it's going to rain a lot. I do not know, so we might be having some dramatic weather in the future. But yes, well spotted, those are my flip-flops in the background, so thank you for that, Lisa. And probably the first time they've ever been shown on a live stream, so it gives you an idea of how regularly it is hot here in England. So thank you for that, Lisa. And Lucy has donated £2. Thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, you did an analysis of Greg Lake with his 12-string singing Still You Turn Me On from the 1974 California Jam. He was a master. So thank you for that, Lucy. And I think that was quite a while ago. I'm not sure how much I got into the analysis. Nowadays, I tend to get a little bit more involved with it. So yeah, if I'd done that analysis more recently, then probably the 12 string would have been good to have to break things down in a little bit more detail. But this is the thing with the analysis videos. The time just seems to just run away, and in the end, I could do a video that was, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, and it feels like it was quite recent. And then I check the date of it and think, wow, that was absolutely ages ago. But anyway, thank you, Lucy, for that donation. And yeah, that's what I mean. It might be nice to have a 12 string somewhere. I have to find a place to put it because I'm actually running out of floor space because of the amount of guitars in here. But I'm sure I can find some space for a 12 string. Amy has donated £5 as well. Thank you for that, Amy. And the message is Gig Story Spotlight. I'm sure the live stream would love to hear some of those stories some nights with some rock horns. So thank you for that, Amy. And it's almost 10 past 1 here, so I'm going to have to jump into the pick roulette. But Michelle has donated as well. Oh, has sent me a money request. So thank you for that, Michelle. Or thank you for the request. I think this is sometimes what happens with the options. You have to either send or request money, and if you request money, then I just receive a request for $5, which is the request that I have received. And sometimes I do get reminders saying whoever it is has requested this money, so because it's like asking me for payment. But thank you, Michelle, for that. Anyway, I won't be able to answer that request or send over the money, but thank you for that message, which is, hi Phil, enjoy your reactions and Under the Spotlight too. Do you think it is only a matter of time that the music industry will embrace cryptocurrency as a form of payment? Rock, with lots of rock horns. So I don't know anything about cryptocurrency, so I'm not sure whether it will be taken on by music distributors or download sites. So yeah, I don't know. I only know about real money. Cryptocurrency is something I haven't really looked into yet. But thank you for that message. And I thought that was almost going to be, do you think it's only a matter of time that publishing companies allow the use of their music for the money taken from the royalties or the revenue from ad revenue on YouTube? I thought that was going to be the question because I was talking with Michael Palmisano today just over emails about the copyright and the fact that he got a copyright block strike on his account, which is just ridiculous. In a live stream he was doing, he got an instant block and strike. And you think, first of all, just blocking outright is just stupid. I mean, Michael's got over 200,000 subscribers now, probably closer to 250,000 subscribers, maybe even more than that. And people are blocking the use of their music that he's giving out and giving exposure to hundreds of thousands of people. So it doesn't make sense, because then they can put ads on his adverts and make revenue from the adverts, and they're not doing anything to make the money from, you know, all the work's being done by Michael on his channel. So it just doesn't make sense to A, block it. It doesn't make even more sense to then have an instant copyright strike, because that means that there's been no review on the use of it and whether it is fair use. So to just outright strike someone is ridiculous, and that's unfortunately what Michael's been through recently. And yeah, as I said, I was talking with him, and this is why I think I'm not going to take the risk of doing live streams or live analysis streams that I used to do on a Wednesday, because it's just too risky, and it's something that Michael explained how he was shown a warning on the live stream screen, but the warning, by the time you've seen it, it's too late, because it's already given a strike, and the blocks happened and the strikes happened instantly. So yeah, this is something that if you're doing a live stream, you can't stop your stream because it's sometimes a bit delayed, so you might get the message 30 seconds before you see it, and because you haven't stopped your stream 30 seconds ago, you then get a strike. And that's what happened to Michael, that he couldn't see it, and it was a little bit delayed in seeing the message, and he did cut it off as soon as he saw the message, but unknown to him, the message happened like 30 seconds ago. But anyway, that's what I thought the question was going to be, but thank you for that, Michelle. But anyway, I think in the future, publishing companies should make their music copyright claimed on YouTube so that they make money from it, as happens with all of my videos pretty much on the channel. If I'm looking at somebody else's music, there are adverts on that video because the copyright has been registered, and the publishing company are putting all the adverts on my live streams as well. So actually all of my covers are owned by the publishing company because they've claimed it on the song that I'm covering, so they're making money from my live streams as well. So that's why on the live streams sometimes you'll see adverts on them, because they are taking the ad revenue from the particular cover that I might be featuring that got requested over on Patreon. But anyway, thank you for that, Michelle. I'm just going to scroll up because Orlando has donated £4 as well. Thank you again, Orlando, for that. The message is, Sister Golden Hair from 1975 by 1970 US rock band. America is one of the best songs which uses the slide. It is one of my favourites. So thank you for that, Orlando, and for the mentioning of that song as well. I'm just going to scroll up because I think another one's come on. Another one has come in. It's Michelle, who has donated £3.40. Thank you for that, Michelle. And this is, I think, the request, but unrequested and sent. So thank you so much for that. And I'm just going to... We've got to get into the pick roulette. I'm going to do the pick roulette now to leave you guys an opportunity to type I agree, because I think we are getting close to the likes goal. 261. We need 4 more people to hit that thumbs up in order to have a pick roulette next Tuesday. So if you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, please do that. It'd be much appreciated. We'll have another one of what we're about to do now, but next week. So let me try and make sure that this is organized, and I'll see you guys again in a second. Rock. So hopefully the roulette wheel will appear. Is it appearing on screen? It is. We are live with the roulette wheel. I thought it wasn't gonna show up, but we also have the t-shirt on there. You can see the hearts. It's just about to go through. That is for the t-shirt roulette, that if we land on that, then we spin another roulette wheel to see who wins the custom Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. But if you haven't seen one of these before, we do a shuffle of the names 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and we're going to give it a spin. Let me pick a top tip. I'm going to go for Jason Joyner, just going through there. He's my top tip to win. Obviously, there's like a 1 in about 100 chance of me getting that right, but we will see if it is his lucky night tonight, or hopefully it's going to be your lucky night tonight. So good luck, everybody. Let's give this a spin and see who's going to win. And the good thing is, because the t-shirt is marked, we can see the t-shirt going through very, very quickly. The name's a little bit too fast to make out, but we are slowing down. So let's see if I can get Terry's gone through there, Deborah's gone through there, Selena, Thomas as well. The t-shirt's gone through as well. John, Paul, Laurie, Jennifer, Mike. Is it going to get as far as Constantia? I think it is. Or maybe Howco Cube. Is it going to stop? It looks like it might be stopping. And there it is. So, congratulations, Howco Tube. You are the winner of the Wings of Pegasus signed pick tonight. And let yourself be known in the live chat room, because that I can see in the live chat room right at the bottom there, Jason has says, thanks Phil. Apologies, Jason, I picked your name for my top tip to win, but it didn't quite materialise. But maybe next time, and congratulations to Howco Tube, and commiserations to everybody else on that pick roulette wheel. But the good thing is, if we have reached 273, we can see it on the screen. So we have reached our 265 goal. We have obliterated that. So now you can start typing I agree and tag Carla Murray in the chat room with that comment in order to get your name on the pick roulette wheel next week. But Howco Tube, let yourself be known to Carla in the live chat room so that she can get everything organised and send this pick off to you. But commiserations everybody else, thank you so much for entering last week, and hopefully we'll be back to me, and there is the pick, and it's signed on the other side. So Howco Tube, congratulations, that'll be on its way to you. Just let yourself be known in that live chat room. And we are now going to be dragging things out a little bit, so you guys can type in the live chat room I agree and tag Carla Murray. So I always do this just to show you guys how to do it. I've typed at Carla, and then Carla's name pops up there, and then type I agree with some exclamation marks. And I'm going to let that go through and I'll point at it when it comes through the live chat room so you guys can see an example of what you need to type to get your name on next week's Pick Roulette Wheel to win a signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So look out for that next week. If you do type I agree, you have to be in the live chat room when the wheel is spun and when it lands on your name in order to pick up the prize. So it's just about to go through. Look out for my comment coming through here. At Carla Murray, I agree. That's what you need to type to get your name on next week's Pick Roulette Wheel. So I'll go through the donations now just to give you guys a bit of time and maybe we can play a video. It is 20 past 1 here in the morning, so it's a little bit late maybe for another video. But let me have a little look in the super chat donations window because I can see that we have a few more donations in there. I want to make sure that I don't miss any out, so I'm just going to scroll up because we had that one that came in from Mike, so thank you for that, and Richard as well, and Ginny has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Ginny. And the message is, Phil, speaking of slides, found out recently that one of the Allman Brothers used an old Corsidine bottle for or Corsidine bottle for a slide. Thanks. So thank you for that, Ginny. And this is it. There's sometimes with a bottle, literally a bottleneck, you can have a bottleneck that is just great for your own physiology. And some players have literally a bottleneck that is just great for them and it just works with them, so they just keep on using it. So yeah, it's all about whatever works best for you. I think most people will buy certainly, I mean, a glass slide is great. I know that you can get other slides. I mean, the old classic glass bottle, of course, is what used to be used, and then they made them into glass slides you can put on your finger. You can also get slides that you can attach to your finger and tighten in order to make it a little bit of a better fit. Also metallic slides, you can have those. I know I've got a metallic slide somewhere kicking around. It's not even mine, it's my dad's from probably about 1960 or 1970. But yeah, that's, I mean, that is, unfortunately, it's just one size doesn't fit all. If it doesn't fit your finger, then it doesn't work very well. And yeah, that one, unfortunately for me, is a little bit wrong size-wise. I haven't got really big hands. I think that was made for someone with like sausage fingers because yeah, it's very loose, so I can't really use that effectively. But thank you for that, Ginny, and Maria has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, thank you for all your wonderful music. So thank you, Maria, for joining me and the gang tonight in that live chat room on the live stream. And Karen has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, you taught me well about muscle memory. Despite a carpal tunnel bout, I'm fingering chords without looking at the guitar's neck or fretboard. Thanks for keeping my musician's dreams alive, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen, and no problem. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve with muscle memory and repetition. Just repetition is the key word, and also just moving your hands slowly. That is a huge part of muscle memory, is moving your hands slowly. The slower you move, the more your muscle memory learns and remembers. Because this is why sometimes, say for example, in a lesson, I'll be teaching someone and we'll be trying to play a particular line, and say we're, I don't know, let's choose D minor, for example, here. And we're going... And that'll be the line that we're trying to do. Like that. And their hand, or when they're trying to do it, their muscle memory, they'll go... And they go, oh, no, and they'll go... Like that. And they'll keep on making mistakes. What you don't realise, I think what people don't realise when they're learning to play, your muscle memory stores everything you do. So it means all of these mistakes, it's remembering, because it's getting the message from the brain saying, okay, we want to do hammer on, move down the string, hammer on, pull off, and then go across 3 strings. So that's the message that's being sent to the muscle memory. The muscle memory then does it incorrectly, and the brain goes, oh no, that was wrong, let me send the message again, and it does it incorrectly again because you're just trying to do it too fast, and your muscle memory's storing this. So of course when people they get so frustrated because they think, oh, why can't I do this? Because you're not doing it slowly enough. Your muscle memory is storing all of the wrong times as much as it stores the right times. So this is why I always say, always play it correctly, no matter how slowly you need to do it. That was just correct. Your muscle memory has stored those movements. So then when you gradually speed up, it's only ever done it right. So it can only load up the right way of doing it. It hasn't got lots of wrong files in there that it can load up because I've only given it the right files all the time. And this is just a way to think of your muscle memory. It's like they're separate. Muscle memory and your brain are 2 different things. Of course, I can think all kinds of amazing playing in my head. It doesn't mean your muscle memory can do it. You've got to teach your muscle memory to do it. I always say to my students, think of your hand like a small child that you're teaching to do something. You would always teach a child to do something slowly, like when you're teaching them to speak. You repeat words really slowly so they understand them and can try and repeat them. And you go through the syllables and the way to say it. You've got to do that with your hand. Unfortunately, it takes a very long time for your hand to learn things, as it is like a small child that you're trying to teach. But only teach it the right thing, because then when it comes to load up its own separate files that it's got saved, it's only ever loading up right stuff. And that'll even happen when, if you start to play too quickly, say for example I go, I'll turn up a little bit. If I play that line, my hand, if I was not really versed in just doing that over and over again, I might have a case where my hand goes, and it loads up another bit of correct muscle memory, but not for the run that I wanted. So this is why you need to practice the different versions and so that you think about the line you want and your hand loads up the correct muscle memory for that particular run and whatever you're doing, whatever technique you're trying to play at that time. So yes, thank you Karen for that donation, because it is so important to keep things slowly. And this goes for chords as well. People that are trying to move between their chords too quickly, your hand is storing the wrong place. So make sure you just change as slowly as you need to. And it's okay to try and push the boundaries of the change a little bit, but don't start going, say for example, from a D into an A and doing that. You want to make sure that every finger gets to exactly where it needs to be, and that, you know, once you play through it, you can then go back and keep it really slow. The slower you do it, it means the more efficient the movement's going to be. I mean, when you're watching, you can't even see my hand, but I'm going to keep the live chat room up on screen so that you guys can type I agree. But yeah, that's it. Keep everything really slow when you're learning to play, because your hand stores everything and you don't want lots of rogue wrong files being loaded up when you're playing. So anyway, thank you Orlando as well, who has donated $2 again, and the message is, the humidity got to you? No. So thank you for that. And it's not very humid at the moment, being so late at night. I'm sure my hair would be probably a lot bigger during the day, but at the moment it's pretty much okay. We haven't got too much volume going on. And Lou has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Lou. And this is a picture that I haven't seen before. It's like a computer game controller with a face on it, and he's walking and it looks like he's sad. So thank you for that, Lou. And Lisa's just donated $9.99 as well. Thank you for that, Lisa. We are going to be calling the live stream to an end very soon. I'm just going to make sure that all of you guys have typed I agree. If you have, Great. If you haven't yet, please do that now in the live chat room, because I'll be looking into the live chat room for those I agrees, just to try and catch any rogue ones that haven't quite been put in there yet, because we are almost about to close things for this live stream. Linda has donated £5. Thank you so much for that, Linda. And the message is, I've missed a couple of live streams lately. What music do you have on your keyboard? And what music do I have on my keyboard? I'm going to try and remember without looking at it. I think it might be Debussy. I'm not sure if that's going to be correct. I'm going to have a look. Yes, it was Debussy. It was Clair de Lune. So yeah, that's it. And that's not something that I'm playing. It's just on the piano. I think that's probably more something that my dad would be playing. So yeah, I'm not really into playing classical music on the piano. I'm very much just chords, filling in sound. That's all I really did for the album. Just really basic stuff, pretty much. Chords, sevenths, sus2s, sus4s, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is what's in the background. Clair de Lune, Debussy. I don't know whether you know that, if you guys are into classical music or not, but that's what's on the piano. Anyway, thank you for that, Linda Z. Let me just scroll up as well, and that's another message from the website, an email that's come through. Kevin's donated £1 as well. Thank you for that, Kevin. The message was and is, yesterday was the 50th anniversary for the Hard Rock Cafe in London. They go back to their 1971 prices. A burger was 50p. Happy birthday to our friends at the Hard Rock. So, and there's kind of half a rock horn. So thank you for that, Kevin. And that is amazing. A burger was 50p. So that's really cool that they rolled back the prices. And I wonder what just like a pint of lager or something was. Not that I would have one, but I know that that's very expensive nowadays. Thank you for that, Kevin. And Beth has donated £16.99. Thank you for that, Beth. And the message is, hey Phil and all on the catch-up crew. See you all around, with a smiley face and some horns. Thank you for that, Beth. And Jill has donated £6.80. Thank you for that, Jill. The message is, just wanted to say hi, and that I'm enjoying the live stream. You rock, Phil. Thank you for that, Jill. I'm glad that you are enjoying the live stream. But we are going to be calling it to a close now, because it has been a bit of a long one. But the good news is we are going to be having another pick roulette next Tuesday, and we've got one coming up this Saturday as well, so make sure you tune in for that, especially if you tuned in last Saturday and you typed I agree and tagged Carla, because your name will be on that pick roulette wheel. So thank you guys for joining me tonight, and final look into that live chat room. We've got Carla going through, Mary, Billy, Dwayne, Karen, Francis, Orlando, and I'm going to have a little look down the list, because I can see Chet and Jennifer still in there, and Billy, Linda Z, Richard as well, Michelle. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this live stream, and I think we've pretty much just about got away with it. And one thing that I have noticed is on the screen before, I'm sure I had a like and subscribe thing that went up there. I don't know where that's gone. I'll have to try and find it and maybe do it for next time. But I think you guys know about the like button by now anyway. But thank you to all of you for subscribing as well. As I mentioned at the beginning, 176,000 subscribers we just passed. So that's a ridiculous number, but thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure that you click that notification bell to get notified for all of the videos and the live streams, so that you don't miss any of them. And that means you won't miss any of the Under the Spotlight videos as well, which come out every first Sunday of the month. So thank you, Orlando, as well, for popping in there to say, well, see ya with a wave. So I'm going to be calling it to a close now. Thank you everyone for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll be back with another video tomorrow night, a standard analysis video, and another one Friday, and I'll be live streaming on Saturday as well. So make sure that you check out those analysis videos, and hopefully you can join me on Saturday night. Stay as safe as possible, and follow whatever your government's saying with distancing, masks, all that kind of stuff. And here in the UK, unfortunately, we've had another little bit of a spike going on with the Delta variant, which was the Indian strain of the virus. So we're having now a bit of a 4 weeks delay before getting things back to more normality. So yeah, unfortunately, we're all still having to be careful, so make sure you are as careful as possible. And I will catch you guys at the next analysis video and at the next live stream on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me, and a huge shout out to the moderators for doing such a great job as well. I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!